Hi, everyone. Welcome to Talk Back. Although it's March, it's never too early to start talking about elections for next November. One of our guests is going to tell us that democracy is fragile. Why is it, I'm going to ask our guests, why is it that less than 100% of registered voters vote in our national elections? Why is it that not 100% of eligible adults over 18 are registered to vote in this country? Why is it in a local town election or state election, maybe 20, 30, 40% of registered voters vote? What is wrong with us? We are in a crucial time in March of 2024 going into November. We have fought for the right to vote. How many of you know the history? We're going to hear some of it. Do you know that in the beginning only white privileged men could vote? Do you know that even when other men like freed slaves got the right to vote in 1868 with the 15th Amendment? Did you know that women didn't have the right to vote? We had a fight. We went to the streets. We got beat up. What is wrong with us that we don't vote as much as we should? So, to talk about all of this, we have Joanne Moore. Hi, Joanne.
Hi.
And Ann Schmidt. And they are both very active members in the League of Women Voters, which is an organization that has been doing voter outreach for over 100 years now, right?
Yeah.
It started in 1920. You're going to tell us about it. So first, Joanne, give me a little bit about your background and what you do in the League of Women Voters.
Well, thank you for having us, Sheila. It's really a privilege to be here, and it's a privilege to speak to all of our viewers as well today about voting, because this is really important, and voting is very powerful. As you said, the initial Constitution only allowed white men to vote who owned property. So it wasn't just enough to be a white man, but you had to have some money as well. Bit by bit, and through hard work, more and more people got access to the vote. But each group that got the vote worked hard for it. There was never an instance where a group of people in power said, "Come on in, we want to share our power with you." Never. Every group had to fight for it. And as you said, it was white men with less money got to vote first. And then after the Civil War in the late 1860s, the black men got the vote. And people don't realize that it took white women 50 years later, after black men got the vote, for the white woman to get the vote. And then even after the 19th Amendment in 1920, not all women had the right to vote. It wasn't until 1965 with the Civil Rights Act that many indigenous women, many women of Chinese descent, and women of color, black or brown, were allowed to vote. And it was not given as a gift. As you said, women not only went to the streets, but they went to prison. They went on hunger strikes. They were force-fed with a tube up their nose. They fought hard for it. And I think that that's why it's so heartbreaking that so many people don't bother to go and vote. I mean, there are, wonderful American men and women who give their lives through armed services for our democracy. And there are so many Americans who won't even go to the polls in their own neighborhood to vote.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're going to get into a lot of that: voter education, civic lessons, civic pride, service to your country. We don't have a draft anymore. Do our young kids care about the future of the country when they don't have a stake in it? So, Ann, tell us a little bit about something about you and the League of Women Voters.
Sure. I'm Ann Schmidt, and I joined the League, we were just trying to remember, just a few years ago. So Joanne has been in the League for
since 1977.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's changed a lot. I think she'll get into that in a minute. But for me, I worked at Pfizer, and I retired. I was a pharmacologist, a scientist. And after I retired, I really got into environmental issues and realized how and heard that environmentalists aren't good voters. And so I didn't realize that. And then I'm very passionate about voting, women's rights.